Coming up on the Inspired podcast.
I was a young kid, skinny kid, right, with a mullet, and the gay community lifted me. This gym lifted me, brother. I owe my life to this gym. It gave me my start, and I'll never forget that,
Welcome to the Inspired podcast by Gentech.
My name is Nick Jones, and I've taken the Inspired podcast on the road. Today I'll be coming to you from City Gym, Sydney's most iconic place to work out. It's actually my home away from home. A special thanks to Billy and the team for letting me use the space as a recording studio. In today's episode, I speak to Mr. City Gym himself, Bill Kokkinis. Billy's story of growing up an immigrant child living in housing commission in Sydney's Western Suburbs to actually owning City Gym is a true rags to riches story, and something that I personally find very inspiring, and I hope you do too. I start by asking Billy about his upbringing.
I was born in Kalamata in 1971 down in the Peloponnese.
Good year, 1971.
Great year, brother. Yeah. Great year. Year of legends.
Exactly.
Year of legends. In 75, we were in Athens. Dad got sick. I was put in an orphanage with my siblings.
Oh, wow.
Dad was quite ill. He couldn't support us, so we were put in an orphanage until 75. Until 77. We then migrated to Australia. And we landed in Marrickville, Sydney, New South Wales, Marrickville.
Little Greece back then,
Little
wasn't it,
Greece
really?
back then, bro. Full of Greeks, full of Lebanese. It was very multicultural.
Was it even then? I heard that if you
was.
couldn't speak Greek in Marrickville, you couldn't get by.
Brother, it was 70 to 80% Greeks, absolutely,
yes.
100%. There was a lot of Greek migrants there who couldn't speak a word of English.
Yes.
But they all got on just fine and they survived just well. So,
absolutely.
I was in Marrickville till 84. Dad got ill again and we had to move to a housing commission at Bidwell, Mount Druitt.
Right.
So
when you say we, you,
my family,
brother, sister?
Yeah, I got two brothers, two older brothers and an older sister.
Yes.
I'm the youngest in the family.
Yes.
And we had to basically go to a housing commission in Mount Druitt, Bidwell.
Yep.
Out pretty far out there in the west, near Penrith.
Western Sydney, for anyone that doesn't know. Western Sydney.
Absolutely, brother. Western Sydney, all right. And I was commuting to school for the first couple of years. We moved out to Mount Druitt, 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours at night to go back and forth to school. I went to school at Tempe High School.
Oh, wow.
So I decided that I wanted to still hang out with my friends and see my friends. And, I was used to that school and I didn't really want to change too much on that scope. So
sure. So around about what age did you move into housing commission?
I was at the age of 13.
Okay.
13.
Okay.
So we were in Marrickville from the age of 7 to 13.
Same as me.
Yeah, 13, moved into housing commission at Bidwell. At the age of 15, I was lucky enough to do 1 week's work experience here at the amazing City Gym.
Really?
Under Billy Moore. Got on like a house on fire with Billy. I was very keen to impress as a young lad because I loved the gym so much. He just grabbed me from day one. And Billy then offered me part-time work after school for the duration of year 9 and also the duration of year 10. I was doing cleaning, painting, maintenance, anything that I could do to keep myself going and get a little wage which helped out myself and the family quite a bit. And then at the end of year 10, Billy was kind enough to offer me a full-time position here at City Gym as a cleaner for the first 12 months. Wow. That's all I did was clean. And I then decided that I wanted to take it to another level, and so I started going and doing my courses. My first course was at the 1812 Fitness Centre at St Leonard's. It was then called the Ashper Fitness Leaders course.
Fitness Leaders, I did the same thing.
Yeah.
So many parallels. I completely relate to what you're saying. Absolutely, completely relate to what you're saying. So tell me, your first interest in weight training and bodybuilding, did it come before you came and did work experience? What inspired you to... Did you always love bodybuilding and muscle and want to get involved? Why City Gym for work experience?
Nick, I was always an athlete back when I was a younger boy growing up in high school, in primary school and high school. I was actually a long distance runner. I was a skinny little runt.
Wow.
I weighed probably, ringing wet, I probably weighed about 60 kilos. And, mate, I was very fit. I always loved the long-distance stuff. I played soccer. for Canterbury Marrickville Olympic under Rally Rasich, who was the 1974 World Cup coach.
Wow.
And loved soccer, like a typical, Greek boy, Greek migrant. Absolutely loved the sport. And, mate, the minute I set foot in City Gym, the first week I did work experience here, mate, I was mesmerised.
Really?
We had all these amazing characters in here. At the time, I was, being a young lad, I loved the WWF wrestling.
Yes.
And it just so happened that on the first week that I worked here for work experience, that Hulk Hogan was in. Don Morocco, Andre the Giant, Junkyard Dog, to name a few, you know.
With the Macho Man.
Yeah,
was he there, Randy Savage?
Yeah, Randy Savage was here as well. So I was just like blown away, brother. As a young boy, I'm going, what the hell's going on here? But not only those guys, but were those guys inspiring to me as a young boy. We had all these amazing physiques in here.
Yes.
You know, you had the likes of, say, John Torelli, Mick Shanti, Paulie Haslam, guys like that. For me, I was converted. That was it for me. You know, for a young boy, I wanted all of a sudden from being a skinny runt to be this muscly dude and put on some muscle and train with weights and be just like these guys. Some of these guys were my heroes, you know, especially the wrestlers, Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant and all that. You know, as I grew up, like I said, I grew up watching them on TV, you know, for the last 5 or 6 years prior to that. So it was just absolutely amazing. So it was an easy conversion for me, bro. Easy conversion.
And for anyone that doesn't know, the listeners know, I'm sure a lot of them know Hulk Hogan and Randy Savage and all these guys, but John Torelli, I still believe, is the best physique to ever come out of Australia. John Torelli was something else. Placed second at the Night of Champions to Lee Haney.
That's correct.
Back in 83,
I believe it was.
83.
Yeah.
So John Torelli, for anyone that doesn't know him, and many of the young bodybuilders don't know him, this guy had the best physique ever, and I still hold him to that.
Mate, John Torelli was one of my idols, bro. I looked up to John. I had the pleasure of working with him here from mid-86, 87. For 2 to 3s all the way up to 1990, I believe, and he had his wonderful wife here, Angela Torelli, as well. He was also a bodybuilder herself. He was no slouch. She was absolutely amazing. But yeah, John's physique for me, as a young kid, he was just world class. Like, I really aspired to him. He was next level, mate. Like, he was right up there, you know, and. He had the looks to go with it, bro, so he was very easily marketable, wasn't he? He was on every magazine, I remember, back then.
Same. I remember the magazines well. He used to have his singlet tied up in that signature knot at the front.
That's right, yeah.
Shoot. God bless him. John's...
That's right, but touching up on that, Nick, like, you know yourself, the physiques back then, in the 80s and 90s, the bodybuilding here in Australia was huge. You know, you had Terry Mitsos.
Yes.
You had Clyde Halani, Adam Blinoff. You had Nick Jones. Freaks, brother. It was absolutely amazing, you know. So it was just, for me, it was a no-brainer.
Yeah. So that was at 15, work experience. You end up the following year being full-time at City Gym. You get to work alongside all of these guys. You're commuting into City Gym from Mount Druitt daily.
Yeah, daily, brother. Yeah, daily. That's
Train.
Right. Living in Bidwell, I had to catch the bus to Mount Druitt train station and then onto the train and get down here to obviously Town Hall or Central and just walk from there down straight to the gym. So it took me about a couple of hours one way, 4 hours, you know, pretty much on a day-to-day basis to get to and from work. But for me, it didn't really mean anything, brother. I was happy to do it. I loved working here. You know, it was an eye-opener. It was absolutely amazing, you know. So, and where I came from, Nick, I mean, I was a young kid, skinny kid, right, with a mullet, you know, and that's another thing that resonates with me. I remember Billy Moore at the time went against everybody's wishes. A lot of, had managers here. Then we had a certain staffing schedule here, and a lot of them didn't really want to give me the opportunity. I thought, who's this kid from the Western Suburbs, from Mount Druitt, with a mullet and, you know, this headbanging. I loved my heavy metal back then as well, bro. You know what I mean? I was into Def Leppard and Kiss and Metallica and all these heavy metal stuff, you know. And people were like, this kid doesn't belong here. This is the gay community here and, you know, the Eastern Suburbs community. So, you know, against all their wishes, Billy, you know, gave me my start, which I'm forever grateful for. And it's very important for me now to uphold his legacy and take this gym to another level.
Yeah, Billy. So talking so much about City Gym and Billy Moore, I mean, your background and your story to me is inspiring. And talking to you now, I'm resonating with you and connecting so much more because so many things were similar as far as when I moved to Housing Commission in Adelaide and didn't have the big Greek family. It was just my single parent mum and my brother. But and I started working in a gym when I was 15.
Okay.
And the boss at the gym, I'd left school, you see, and he made a deal with me. I'll give you a job part-time and you go back to school. Let's talk about the beginnings of City Gym because I want to talk as much about the gym as I do about your story because both stories to me are very inspiring and very special. So City Gym opened in 78.
That's correct, yes.
Billy Moore opened it with a couple of partners. Billy, I've got my own story to tell about Billy as well. I mean, but what you've said, that he took a chance on you, and he gave you a shot because he knew, he looked into your eyes and he could see the goodness in your heart. And I've talked about this, and I recognise this with friends. When I look into their eyes, I can see and feel the good heart is close to the surface.
Absolutely.
You know, and we're living in this environment that's pretty harsh, and especially you growing up, you had to be tough in this environment. You had to be very aware. Between Mount Druitt and inner city Sydney, catching the train lines, I can only imagine what that was like.
It's pretty tough, bro.
It's pretty crazy. And I mean, we've said it many times before, Billy. We're close friends, but you could write not a book about City Gym and your experiences, but a volume.
Absolutely. And I stick volume page. Don't worry about that.
Just too many people to get arrested, I think. We wrote
100% away. 100% we've thrown away the key. Don't worry about that.
But let's talk about City Gym, because City Gym, there's such a sense of community and a lack of judgment on someone's sexuality, bank account, car they drive, religious beliefs, habits that they have. There's just no judgment here. And when people walk in the front door, whether they're rich, poor, celebrity, nobody, homeless, harbour view, mansion, as soon as the gym gear goes on, it's a great leveller, and there is respect for all members and such great etiquette. But let's talk about how City Gym got to that and how Billy cultivated that. But more specifically, let's talk about Billy opened in 78.
That's correct.
It was a very hardcore time when it came to the gay community, and we were chatting yesterday, and you mentioned to me that homosexuality back then was great, because City Gym Sydney is as much known as its gay friendliness, or it's Sydney's gay gym, but to me it's not Sydney's gay gym. It's a safe haven for the gay community. But can you tell us how that came about, Billy?
Look, obviously back then, I mean, in 78 when the gym opened, it was illegal to be gay or homosexual in New South Wales.
It was illegal.
It was illegal, brother, exactly. So, mate, it was only legalised in New South Wales in 1984 under the Neville Wran government. So, for those first 1984. Now, other states in Australia were legalised a lot earlier. I believe Adelaide and Tasmania one was in 75, one was in 79.
Wow.
Don't quote me on that, but they're the kind of years we're looking at. But in New South Wales, 84. So there was 6 years when Billy opened up the gym in 78 of, hardship for the gay community. But what Billy really did, Billy was a pioneer. He was a gay advocate, brother. Like the way he supported the gay community. I mean,
and he's a straight man that had a wife and children.
Man. That's correct. But he created a safe haven for everybody, not just the gay community. Everybody in general. Anybody could come to City Gym and feel safe.
Thank you.
But he did take the gay community, close. He held them close to his heart. He was a great man, and mate, word quickly spread all over the world that City Gym was a safe place to go to, especially given what was going on with the gay community worldwide at the time. And the people that descended to City Gym, not only from America, from Europe, obviously from New York, San Francisco. Well, mate, it was unbelievable, Nick. The numbers were just out of this world.
And he didn't do it as a marketing thing. He did this out of the goodness of his heart. What was happening to the gay community here in Sydney that led him to say this is a safe haven? What was going on?
Look, bro, there was a lot of harassment towards the gay community, especially from the police, the government as well at the time. There was a lot of gay bashings on the street. They weren't allowed to be themselves. And Billy, saw what was happening and resonated with the gay community and decided to do something, pull up his sleeves and do something about it, which very few people did back then.
It's courageous. Absolutely. In a time where it sounds like the majority was against homosexuality.
And they were.
This straight man stands up and goes, this is wrong. This has got to stop. Until it does, my home is your home.
Absolutely.
It's safe for you.
That was Billy Moore, brother. That was Billy Moore. He's
big heart.
He was a great man. He was
courageous.
A big heart. And mate, what he did for the gay community, the support that he gave him, I still get members coming in today who were at from the first opening of that gym in 78 when it was on William Street. And the stories they were telling me, mate, were bringing tears to my eyes. He was an unbelievable man. So,
yeah, mate, rest in peace.
Yeah.
I hope you're enjoying our chat with Billy. We'll continue after this message from our sponsors.
At City Gym, we do things differently. We're the original all-inclusive community gym. For under $30 a week and with zero joining fees and hidden costs, you can have access to the best machines in Australia. Open 24 hours, 7 days a week. City Gym, 107 Crown Street, Darlinghurst.
City Gym became very well known worldwide, not only as a haven for the gay community, but a place where celebrities would come to work out. We continue our chat with Billy by asking him who were some of the famous people that have trained and hung out at City Gym.
Actors like Jane Fonda, The Rock, Hugh Jackman, Tom Cruise, Nicole Kidman. You had tennis stars like Steffi Graf, Martina Navratilova, Pat Cash, Ivan Lendl, Boris Becker, the wrestlers, Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant, The Rock, the Junkyard Dog, bodybuilders, mate. Arnold Schwarzenegger was here.
Yes.
This was his favourite gym in Australia to train. After he had one workout here under Billy Moore, mate, he absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
Billy brought out Serge Nubret, who was a runner-up to Arnold all the time.
Yep.
We had Lee Haney, Jay Cutler, Ronnie Coleman, Dorian Yates, Tom Platz. Then we had the amazing Corey Everson, Tonya Knight, like unbelievable women's physiques, you know. And mate, a lot of the old boys, Frank Zane, Bill Pearl, Albert Beckles, they all came in here as well in the earlier years, you know. So the who's who of bodybuilding royalty, Nick, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, and me growing up as a kid here, for me, I was mesmerised. I was like, oh my God.
Yep.
Mike Christian, Lee Haney, and Billy would get me to take these guys to lunch and show them around Sydney. So as a young boy growing up here, I was in heaven, brother. I was like, what the hell's going on here? And I was training side by side with the best in the world. And the things you learn, Nick, as you know yourself from these guys go against the grind, you know, from a weight training exercise point of view, a dieting nutritional protocol point of view. These guys were next level at the time. So to have these guys around you, the knowledge that I picked up from these guys, mate, I could go to any university in the world and do any course in the world. You wouldn't learn what you've learned from these guys firsthand.
It's funny. And that's how you and I learn best, right? We learn through doing and talking to those that have been there and done it.
That's right.
And just quickly, this is a side note. I was talking to Uncle Alan.
Yes.
So my uncle Alan Burrell knew you many years ago. Alan trains in City Gym with Mick Scionti. And he said, oh, mate, I heard about this young Billy he'd blown up. And because he went away from the gym for a couple of years.
That's right.
And I heard you put on some obscene amount of muscle, getting all of these tips and coming into City Gym. Yeah. What was this transformation that I heard about?
Brother, I mean, like I said, I walked in here 65 kilos wringing wet, you know, and
at 15.
At 15 years old, you know, by the time I was 18, 19, I was weighing 115 to 118 kilos with about 13-14% body fat, you know.
My God.
But like I said, I was very fortunate to be taught by the best in the business. I was in great hands from not only local bodybuilders like John Torelli, Mick Scionti, etc., but all the international bodybuilders. So for me, being a young kid and being so enthusiastic, I listened, I learned, I worked my ass off, and mate, did this amazing transformation, you know. So it was, mate, like I said, Nicky, for me, every day was like I was in heaven, brother.
Wow.
You know?
Wow. That's incredible. Why did you never compete in bodybuilding?
Bro, I was lining up to do a 91 show as a junior, and mate, unfortunately, I lost my father quite suddenly in Greece, and that really hit me hard.
Dad moved back.
Dad
to
was
Greece.
on holidays. Dad went on holidays. Just left Mum behind. Went on holidays to visit his brother and his family back in Greece, and Dad was suffering from diabetes and tuberculosis of the lungs and all that. And obviously going to Greece, mate, he ate up a little bit. He got off his diet. Was a bit of a smoker, and unfortunately Dad passed away very suddenly, and he kind of knocked me for six, and knocked the family for six. And bodybuilding to me, then I went through a little bit of a spiral for a couple of years.
Yeah, because you were 20, 21.
I was 20 years old, 20, bro, and it just did. And bodybuilding was the last thing on my mind, to watch my mother spiral the way, you know, mother's pain and family's pain. So I just supported my family, and for me, bodybuilding wasn't the end all and be all, you know, after that, to be honest with you. And it was just like, I want to train, I want to look healthy. It wasn't about getting on stage. I just love training, Nick, you know, and being around the people and being around City Gym. So, I just went through a bad stage. But, mate, you know, I mean, that's the way it works, and that's maybe life. A bigger and better person. Yeah, exactly, that is life. And I'm a bigger and better person for it today, you know. So, family comes first for me, brother.
Absolutely. I mean, there'd be so much there, Billy, because we talk personally often, and your mindset and your attitude in times of adversity, especially the last couple of years here running City Gym and what you've overcome. I know with any man at the age of 50, really, Billy, especially like us that's come out of Housing Commission
Absolutely,
and
right,
moved from overseas, that there's
Yeah.
always a lot of stuff that you go through.
Absolutely.
Always a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I'm going to cut to that now, and
Sure.
that is... give me some daily practices. Give me some stuff that you do personally that helps you stay positive, stay motivated, stay on track, and help you to overcome these constant challenges that come.
Look, Nick, for me, I've always been a very positive person.
Always.
Always, brother. And I mean, what I've been through in life, obviously from my past and growing up as a kid, been in an orphanage and, living in Housing Commission, losing dad at a very young age. These are all the things that really build up this resilience that I have that can't be touched. And mate, to be honest with you, Nick, there's other people in worse positions. I would never change my upbringing, brother. It's made me who I am today.
Absolutely.
And that's why I've always got a positive mindset. Yeah, we went through COVID. We went through, obviously the current economy situation is not great. Things are pretty bad in terms of obviously, interest rate hikes and inflation and all that jazz. But mate, I mean, I'm looking after, I'm a proud owner of Australia's most iconic gym. The community that I have here, Nick, the way they look after me and the way I look after them, like the relationship that we have, mate, I'm the luckiest man in the world. I have the most amazing partner in Tamara Jabba. Who, every morning I get up, brother, it makes me want to be a bigger and better version of myself. I have amazing friends, a close group of friends, my business partner, Andy, Mama Siulis, and Henny, my sis, and yourself and Angela, and, all these great people. And it's like, mate, what's the issue? Nothing's a problem for me, brother. I like finding solutions. There's always an answer to a problem. And I love finding it, brother, because you always can, So I've always been a positive person. So for me, I'm like, it's a no-brainer.
Gee, but so many people that go through hardship don't end up on the positive side of it.
That's very true.
All of these challenges they go through and some trauma they go through, they drink it down, they drug it down, they gamble it down, they sex it down, they suppress it at all costs. But you haven't done that. Is there been anything that you've done, like when your dad passed away, that you did specifically that helped you work through?
To be honest with you, Nick, City Gym saved me. City Gym saved me, brother. The training at City Gym and the friends that I made here. The gay community is so important to me because they rallied behind me, brother. And, my other close friends that were here as well, there's some straight friends that I had here, but the gay community helped me get through it, and keep me on track. Yeah, there were days where, there were some very dark days and, I spiraled a fair bit here and there, for, especially the 2 years after. But the gay community lifted me. This gym lifted me, brother. I owe my life to this gym. It gave me my start, and I'll never forget that,
Yeah, isn't it funny how people take a chance on us? They see the best in us. They lift us up when we're down. So the people that we're around us play such an important part. There's a few things here that you just reminding me of that play such an important part in keeping us strong, keeping us on the straight and narrow, keeping us positive, and that is, number one, a sense of community and the people you have around you and hold close and dear to your heart.
That's right.
Those people, because they're so close, you want to be a better person for them as well.
That's right.
That's right. And then the structure, so the sense of community you get from the gym and your dear friends and family, but then the structure that your training gives you, your nutrition gives you. Having a bad day, struggling, get in here and train.
That's right.
Get in here and train. Right. Invest a little bit in yourself. Take care of yourself. Make yourself stronger, at least physically, to make yourself stronger spiritually and emotionally. And carry that through into the rest of your day.
Absolutely, brother. I couldn't agree more with you, Nick, and that's what this gym's all about. It's important to me to continue on the legacy of all these amazing people that not only helped me get through, Nick, they've helped this gym has helped so many people get through, brother. A lot of hardship over the years, and we've seen it with COVID as well. COVID was a big one. It was massive. The amount of people, the depression that it caused out there in the community, the amount of members that took their lives.
There was a lot, wasn't there,
There was
Billy?
a lot, bro. And, I know some of those people were your friends as well. And that hit home hard for me. So it was very important for me to get up and do something about it, brother, because I'm in a position as a gym owner of Australia's most iconic gym to get up and help these people and do something for the community. So what we did do for them after the first lockdown, obviously we finished an amazing renovation, a $1.5 million renovation of this amazing facility. And the second lockdown, it hit a lot harder. We were locked down obviously for close to 4 months.
Yeah.
So what I focused on was putting on a free food day for all the members.
I remember.
On a weekly basis.
Throughout lockdown. This is throughout lockdown.
This is throughout the whole lockdown period, the second lockdown period.
So hang on, let me get this right. You're not earning $1 of income.
No,
not
brother.
$1 of income because you froze
Not at all.
memberships. Not
That's
$1 of
correct.
income, yet
That's correct.
you're giving away free food and coffee every Thursday.
That's correct. That's correct. Free food and coffee. I put on free Zoom classes, online Zoom classes for all the members and even the public to access for free for them to train to keep themselves going. The food side of it for me was a little bit strategic on my behalf because of the fact that I wanted to get the members down here to have a chat to them, to see how they were doing, how they were travelling, you know, what I could help them with. All it took was a coffee, a chat, a 5-minute chat to make sure they were all right. I also hired free therapists. And I made them accessible to the members for the people who were struggling. Yeah, bro. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So there was another service that I provided. Like I said, Nick, the community means everything to me.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit about my bottom line with the community suffering, brother. You got to help people. That's where I came from. It's not hard. Most gym owners go, oh, we're an authentic community gym. Yeah, all they do is take money off people.
Yeah.
City Gym's not about that, brother. The fabric of City Gym doesn't work like that.
Yeah, Billy would have been proud of you, mate.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's something that Billy would have done, brother. So, like I said, for me, it's important to uphold Billy's legacy. So, you know, it's the least I could do for the community. But there's more to come, Nick. We've got more to come, brother.
Yeah.
We're only going to get bigger and stronger.
Yeah. Oh, I have no doubt. I have absolutely no doubt whatsoever. God. City Gym's a safe haven for the gay community from the early 80s when Billy Moore saw what was going on. Tell us about the 80s, the gay community in the 80s, and how your support of the gay community has transitioned into current day of, you know, current time of doing Fair Day and all of the different great LGBT causes that you support. Tell us from the 80s right through till now, how has it changed and how have you been involved and supported the gay community? You've told us how they've supported you, which you know, drills deep to your heart.
Look, you know, the late 80s here in City Gym were quite stressful. I mean, they were very heartbreaking, Nick, because we had the AIDS pandemic in the late 80s, well into the early 90s, and unfortunately, City Gym lost a lot of its favourite gay sons. One of them in particular was Peter Vincent, who was very influential in my life. He was probably the best manager the City Gym has had. Wow. You know, wow. Peter died from AIDS, as did his amazing partner, Addie. Wow. And as I said, we lost a lot of members, and the community in general here in Darlinghurst was hit very hard. I mean, it was hit hard worldwide, but that smashed the gym, you know, and everybody rallied behind to support the family, the grieving families, Billy Moore, myself, a lot of our other amazing members, and we helped the families get through that tough period. Then, you know, obviously after the first COVID lockdown, you know, people were hit pretty hard. There was no Mardi Gras floats, there was no parades, there was no parties, and one thing that really hit home for me, there was no Fair Day. And this is where a lot of the gay community get together, and the Team Sydney gets together, and they do all their registrations and all that. So for me, I felt compelled to step up and roll my sleeves up, bro, and put on a Fair Day at City Gym for him, which we did. And it was, I must say, it was very successful. The Team Sydney, I know, appreciated it, and the Mardi Gras appreciated it. And he just kept that alive, and he kept them going, and gave him some hope during a very tough time. And, you know, it was, like I said, it's something close to my heart. And the support that we gave them and the love they gave us back, Nick, was just something else that I know.
That was only a few years ago, Billy.
That's correct,
I remember it. We were involved in it. Gentech supported that.
That's correct. Yeah, that's correct, bro. Yeah, it was an amazing day. We put DJs on downstairs, squat till you drop competitions. We did a lot of giveaways. We used the middle floor for Team Sydney to put their tables down and the flags up and do their team registrations, which worked out really well. We raffled out a lot of prizes and put free food on for everybody for the day. And, you know, it was nice to see people turn up. I mean, the numbers weren't huge, but it was nice to see people turn up after the first lockdown, in which people had been hit pretty hard mentally and physically, so to speak, you know. So, you know, it was a very successful day, an amazing day, and I'm pretty sure the gay community, and I know for a fact they appreciated that. So, yeah, it was very special for me.
Mate, because I always wonder why, and you're answering it now, you're really enlightening me here, because coming to City Gym, and even I remember growing up, Mum had a couple of friends that were gay, and it's never really been a thing for me to celebrate someone's sexuality or to judge someone's sexuality.
Sure.
I don't judge anyone on their religious beliefs. I've got Muslim friends, I've got Christian friends, I've got friends who are atheists.
Yeah, we all do, yeah.
Right? So I don't
bro.
really judge. It's not my place to judge
Sure.
anyone.
Yeah.
And I very much have the attitude of live and let live, as you do.
Yeah.
And so I always wonder why it's such a big deal to celebrate sexuality and why we have the Mardi Gras and why we have all of these events. But I'm assuming now that it's because there was so much oppression with the gay community.
Yes, exactly that,
And it
Nick.
was illegal,
Yeah.
and there was a lot of violence and homophobia and bashings, and
Yes.
and that oppression is still being felt to this day, and that's why homosexuality or LGBT is celebrated.
Yep, absolutely.
And in these times, Billy, because it's pretty poignant in these times, because we're seeing it with rugby league at the moment and what's been happening in the media. There's so much still.
Absolutely.
Which, again, I find it just blows me away because, again, I think live and let live. What does it matter what somebody's preference is with... Really?
Obviously not to us, Nick.
It doesn't to us, Billy.
Like, I mean, we both had, grew up with a fair bit of adversity as well. I mean, I was a Greek migrant coming here. So I experienced what racism was like growing up back then, Nick. You know, you had the Aussies calling you Dago and Wog and all this stuff. And, you know, I mean, we weren't any better ourselves, bro, you know, but we went through it, you know, growing up. And, that's why for me, I'm a very strong supporter of the gay community. I mean, you know, why should they be suppressed?
Absolutely.
They're normal human beings like us, bro.
Absolutely.
They're great people. They're some of the most amazing people are gay. Like, what's the big deal, man? You know, I don't get it. Okay, people have religious beliefs and all that. But for me, it's, once again, Nick, it's a no-brainer, mate. Be a good human being, brother. It's not hard. It's not rocket science, you know?
Simple. I'm going to ask you a question that I ask everyone. I mean, you're the owner of Sydney's most iconic gym, maybe Australia's most iconic gym. You've actually, as well as I thought I knew City Gym, you've shed so much light on the service that City Gym provides to the community, not just the gay community, but the community at large, by putting on food throughout the lockdown, just so that you could have members come in and have some food and have a chat and see where they are. Where their mentality is, you know, because, you know, you're in Darlinghurst, you're in East Sydney here in Darlinghurst, and I got to say, I'm fortunate enough to live by a national park and the ocean, the beach. So when we were in lockdown, as challenging as it was at times, we had the outdoors, we had the fresh air. I put wetsuits on the kids when they were bouncing off the walls and went for a swim in the ocean, or we went skateboarding or mountain biking. And I'm thinking, what about those people that are living in one-bedroom studio or apartments or studios in and around Darlinghurst, middle of winter, don't have the fresh air, can't see the horizon, can't go into their favourite gym, so they're not having their structure, which is so important for us. As we're saying, we need daily structure, we need exercise. It's the best antidepressant that a human being can utilise. They're not getting that sense of connection and community. So I'm understanding the sense of community now so much more, and what you've provided the community, and then why inside the gym there's such a great sense of community and such a non-judgment in the gym, and it feels like home to me, which used to worry me because I'm certainly a misfit of society. As much as people think otherwise, I'm a misfit of society. I feel at home at City Gym more than any other gym in the world, and more than almost any other place in the world. Tell me, Billy, what are the plans for City Gym? What's the future hold for City Gym?
Look, Nick, for me, I think I wouldn't do this gym justice if I didn't take it national.
Yes.
And the biggest dream for me is obviously my end game is international.
Right.
I'm also expanding the eatery. The food is absolutely amazing, as you know.
Oh, my favourite.
I believe there's room for growth there, so I'll be looking at expanding the eatery and taking that international as well, to be honest with you. We're also building a physio clinic next door, which opens in 5 weeks.
Yes.
We've teamed up with Kinesis Physiotherapy. The guy's an absolute Costa from there. He's an absolute gun. So that's another stream that we're looking at to obviously, expanding and taking. And for me, it's all about quality, Nick. The best of the best under one roof.
Yes.
The the best full-service gym in all of Australia.
Yes.
And everything I do, bro, very well. From my equipment to my staff to the whole package has to be the best. And I want to take that Australia-wide, and I want to show people what City Gym's all about, and build these amazing community, the amazing community that we've built here all over Australia and possibly overseas.
It's certainly, Billy, it's certainly world class here. The renovation that Andy and yourself did, it's just a beautiful club, but it has this raw essence and it has an energy about it. The equipment's world class. The trainers, the level of trainers you have here, the boxing trainers, Benny Sava, the classes that you're running here as well, and the eatery. Let's talk about the eatery. I love food. You love food. You're Greek.
Absolutely,
You're
brother.
Greek.
Absolutely.
The head chef here, Hanadi, he did his apprenticeship at a hatted Michelin star rated restaurant.
That's correct, yeah.
It's not just fitness food, not even close. This is like the highest quality restaurant food that is healthy and tasty. So the gym is the City Gym, it's just a different standard and a different being to any other gym that I walk into. From that and from what you've done here, to replicate that will be a big challenge. But tell me, I ask all of our guests, Billy, what inspires you? What does being inspired mean to you? And what inspires you?
Nick, I love what I do, brother. I love this gym. This gym is my life, as I said here before. But mate, like I said, I've got an amazing family behind me. I look at what my parents went through to give me, a shot at life here in Australia.
Wow.
And who went looking for searching for a better life for myself and my siblings. Mate, I have an amazing partner in Tamara. She's absolutely unbelievable. She, like I said, she pushes me to be the bigger and better version of myself.
Yeah.
I have my amazing close-knit group of friends, and I have this community here, Nick. To walk in here every day and do what I do and get smiles from these people, just to talk to these people, mate. It's the respect and the love they have for me. It just inspires the hell out of me to make it bigger and better for everybody, bro, and give them the best possible.
Well, I got to say, thank you, Bill Kokkinis, my Greek brother, for joining us. Thank you for your vulnerability, honesty, your wisdom, and over and above everything and above our friendship, thank you for providing what is my favourite gym in the world, that gives me structure, that gives me connection with a bunch of very, very special people. And I certainly, City Gym makes me or gives me a better life.
Thank you, my bro. I love you, mate. Love you and Angel, and all the support that you guys have given me throughout this. You've been here from the start of the journey, Nico. From when I first took over City Gym 5 years ago, mate. I'm the luckiest bloke in the world to have amazing friends, like I said, like you guys behind me. So, mate, the sky's the limit.
I really hope you enjoyed this episode with Billy. Sounds like City Gym has some big plans, and I look forward to seeing them come to fruition. I really want more people to hear this podcast. If you're enjoying it, please don't forget to rate and review on Apple Podcasts or on Spotify. Do you know somebody that's inspiring that you think would be great on the podcast? If so, contact my producer Rob at etales.com.au. That's rob@etales.com.au. I'm Nick Jones, and thanks for listening.
Build a lean, athletic physique using Gentech Nutrition's premium quality sports supplements. Use code INSPIRED10 and save 10% off your favourite products at gentech.com.au. That's GEN-TEC.com.au.
This podcast has been produced by etales.com.au. That's www.etales.com.au. Does your company or organisation or even yourself need a podcast? Contact Rob at etales.com.au.